The bus tour was simply wonderful. Brought back a lot of memories. The streets all seemed so much narrower than when I was a kid growing up. And even the playground at Ladd School, I thought I had remembered is much bigger than it is. Because they really haven't changed. I was always a very shy person. The 8th grade teacher, this was 8th grade, and she assigned us to write our autobiography. And I went home and I thought, I want to do this in verse form. So I did, and presented it, and she was so impressed that she had me stand up and read it in front of the class, and I could have hated her for doing that. And the funny thing is, I thought when I got home, I was so unhappy that I threw it away. And then when my kids were getting together thing for this party the other day, my daughter found the entire poem. And evidently, all I can think of is when I got home, I told my folks, what had happened. I was so mad that I had to read this thing in front of everybody. And I think my mother grabbed it out of the wastebasket. So evidently it was among some remembrances that my mother had that kept the poem. Yeah, and I haven't read it all yet, but I'm going to have to. I had learned, in probably Sunday school or somewhere, that everyone has his or her own talent, and just find it, And I'm still looking. I can't sew, I can't sing. There's a lot of things I'm not good at, but I do dance, yeah. Every Saturday morning we walk across the street and down a couple of houses to Dottie Lurch's. And they had cleared out their dining room, and it was a wooden floor, so it was perfect for tap dancing. And we just loved. We loved the tap dancing. The ballet, it was fun, but not nearly as much fun as tap dancing. The recitals would be at Dottie Lurch's house in the driveway right in front of the garage. And the family members who wanted to come and see sat on folding chairs in the yard around the driveway. I was widowed almost 4 years ago now, and we loved to dance. Well, both my husbands. I was widowed twice, but loved the men I had married loved to dance, and so we had a ball. But it took me about a year to get back, but I went back, and I still enjoy dancing. A woman is in contact with a man without any reason. You dance, and that's it. No commitment, and that's good. My 3 sisters and I, being so close to the same age, Mom made our Halloween costumes, and when we were really small, she made these clown outfits, and she made them to where she folded the material over quite a bit, and so we wore them the first year, and then the next Halloween, all she did was unstitch them and lengthen them out a little bit, and I think we wore those costumes every Halloween for probably the next 4 or 5 years. She was smart. She didn't have to make a costume except one time. Things were much safer in those days, I mean, the folks would give us money, 25 cents to go to the movies and 10 cents to buy candy on the way. And we would walk up there to the Oak Park Theater. We always sat in the 10th row in the middle section, and they'd have all the previews of coming attractions and the cartoons, and always a cereal too before the main movie. But then they'd take a break before the main movie would start, and put a lot of toys and coloring books and crayons and things like that on the floor. And then they'd have a wheel and they'd draw cards for prizes. And they were small prizes, as I said. They weren't expensive things, but they were fun to win anyway. A lot of times you didn't have money yourself to do it, but I felt very fortunate as I look back that my folks gave us that money to go, you know, because it was hard to come by. Times were rough. You had to be tough to survive, and the folks were. We had a good high school, a good teenage life, because there were three of us so near the same age. Joanne was a year older than I, and Helen was a year younger. We had a lot of friends, and it was fun having them over. One night we called our dad in from the back room and told him to show these guys his one-arm push-ups. He could do an amazing number of one-arm push-ups. That's how muscular he was. So he did, and he came, and we thought it was just awesome. We thought it was so great. I found out later from Don Wever, whom I married later on in life, that he said, you know, that really sent a message to us guys. Don't you mess with my girls. But of course, to us, it never occurred. It never occurred to us. I think it was my junior year in high school. Hallmark Cards had sent out a notice to our high school that anyone who wanted to come and work in the evenings from about 5 to 9 at their building there for the month of November, December, they would pay so much an hour. Those 2 months, I would come home from school and then get on the streetcar and take it down to Hallmark's and work there until 9 o'clock. And just doing labor, you know, with cards and envelopes. And so after the 2 months were over, I got paid, and I can't remember what the amount was, but I cashed it, and I bought Christmas presents for my 3 sisters and my parents. I spent every dime of that money on Christmas presents for them. It was so much fun. I can remember my feeling, this is the first time in my life I've ever had any money. And what am I going to do with it? Oh, finally I can buy decent Christmas presents. And I did, and I loved it. Lots of fun. Brought back a lot of memories. A lot of work went into it, you know, behind the scenes, and I really am grateful to my kids for doing that. I don't know, I think I concentrate so much on the people that I'm with. I don't think about the surroundings. I really don't. It doesn't seem to affect me any. I think I was just happy to see so many. I just couldn't believe all the people that turned out for this silly celebration.